Today, we'll be looking at the game that brought me to 1000 LP during the first patch of Season 15, and I'll be giving some of my thoughts on the game as well as of some of my thoughts on the season in general. So, in this game, I got my one-trick champion Nunu, and I'm playing against Kindred. This matchup is kind of weird in that, good Kindreds can abuse you really easily, but bad Kindreds will just roll over and die. And currently, there's not that many good Kindreds, right? Against Kindred, he's gonna want to mark you almost every single time. And if you're marked, you have only really one objective on the map, which is to not die. So yeah, I accidentally bought my ward this game instead of my sweeper, so I had to base early to do that. I don't know why I've been doing that. This is like a mistake that I almost never do, but I found out recently that I've been doing it a lot. But anyways, we're going to be pathing down this game because my top laner is playing Ambessa versus Maokai. And Maokai is a champion that really can't be ganked. If you're playing Maokai, you're basically relegated into sitting and laying and accepting your fate to go even with the enemy top laner, unless if you're a psychopath, right? Maokai is a tank. He doesn't have any unexpected damage that can kill you. So the lane's not going to be volatile at all. So if I can't path top, I have to path bot lane. Even though my bot lane is Zyra and Janna and cannot kill, they picked Jack support this game for whatever reason. I don't really know why. I think that guy plays Jack support, but Jack support looks to be easily abusable. So whenever I'm pathing bot lane, I tend to do the same clear: blue, Gromp, Wolves, Raptors, and then look for a gank either mid or bot. I think that's what I'm going to be doing this game. But yeah, anyway, since there's not much to talk about the clear, I'll be talking about some of my thoughts on Season 15. The season's been going pretty well for me. I think I have a 60% win rate on Nunu, but it's getting to a point in the season where the queue times are 15 minutes long after the first 2 weeks because nobody's playing. I remember I was playing a lot of streams on game today, and the rank 1 person who I'm currently friends with, the Kino Cats, was sitting in a queue for 40 minutes. I had played a game against him that I won, and then he was sitting in queue for 40 minutes just watching me play my entire game, and only after I finished my game did he get into a game. So yeah, the queue times have been kind of devastating, but that's always been a problem in League of Legends. Not many high elo people play through it. This is patch 15.1, so Talia getting the solo kill mid lane does mean that we get the feats. And I'm looking bot lane to see if I can gank. They're pretty far pushed up now, so I think I can get a gank off if it works. Worst comes to worst, I think they either have it warded or I burn a flash from them. I don't know where they have it warded, so that's why I puck sweepers, but I see them walking back, so I'm assuming it's not actually warded. So I aim my snowball onto the virus. He should have flashed it in my opinion. But my teammates are not that good. I have to flash auto for a kill here, and now I'm basically screwed because I'm pretty sure, yeah, Kendrick's in jungle. Which is not ideal because I give him a mark, but at least I get the kill myself, which isn't bad. But overall, 2 for 1, not the... At this point in the game, I think I have to path down to my red and Krugs because I really need to take it before Kindred does, so that's why I path to my red. Looks like ball wave is shoved, so I think Kindred can invade me, but Janna is doing a top gank, which is kind of weird. I think in hindsight, I would take the gank again. It's kind of sad that my laners didn't have enough damage to kill them, but I guess that's what happens when they're playing Zyra Janna. My ADC is awful, so I don't blame them too much, but it's just an unfortunate situation. Looks like we get trade top lane, which is pretty good. But I need to run to top skill as fast as possible to deny the mark. Kindred marks is kind of weird. Technically, I value them at 1,000 gold per mark, right? Or sorry, not 1,000 gold, 100 gold per mark. But the problem is Kindred doesn't get any value from the marks until he reaches 4 marks. If he reaches 4 marks, he gets a 75 auto attack range increase, and that's pretty big. So it's still worth it to deny marks up to 4, but after 4 marks, I don't care too much about whether I deny him marks or not. But anyways, we still have to keep clearing. At this point in the game, I'm thinking about if I'm contesting the grubs, which are up in 1 minute 20 seconds. I look top lane, Maokai is kind of overextended, so maybe we can go for a play. But Janna took a sapling, so it was warded, so I don't really get anything here, and my bot lane dies. At this point in the game, I'm thinking to myself, why is the Jax 3-0? Why does it look like he actually knows what he's doing? But it can't be that bad. Unfortunately, the mark does spawn at my raptors, so there's a chance that Kindred can take it. But I don't think he does because he should be out of a base. Yeah, we see him on top scuttle or top raptors, so I go and take it as well. Mid is looking kind of gankable here. It's really annoying that John unleashed it because it completely messes up my snowball. But if I hit level 5 before grubs, it's like really good to fight grubs because most junglers are level 5 before grubs. Like technically you could be level 6 before grubs, but that would require your like early game plays to work a lot. And here we see another Jax roam. But I think Jax dies for it, trades 1 for 1, and there's a bounty. I don't want to trade too heavily with the Kindred Victor because they're stronger than me. Kindred can like auto attack win against you if you just run into them and auto attack. So you want to take shorter trades whenever you're in the Kindred matchup. But anyways, Grubs is spawning. It's kind of weird that enemy jungler is not pathing towards Grubs. I found that like recently in almost all my games, Grubs are like the one place that I'm at as long as I can contest it, right? If I have like an even mid laner or even top laner, I'll try to gank the mid and or top before going for Grubs, and that way I can secure the first Grubs. If I don't have prio for Grubs, then it's kind of tragic. But anyways, they took a fight top lane. This fight is looking kind of sketchy. But luckily, Taliyah walls in. Jax jumps in. I think I can chomp him. It's a Bluetooth chomp. And overall, we do trade 2 for 1, which is pretty good. And I get the Grubs. But anyways, I think like as Nunu, you always want to be either A, playing for a dive ball lane or playing for something ball lane by the time Grubs spawn, or B, at Grubs and trying to like Q smite one of them if you don't have prio, or if you do have prio, you can secure all 3 of them. At this point, I don't know really why I'm doing this, but I'm trading a bit with Kindred. I probably thought I could kill them because I had a number advantage, but it looks like Victor was roaming anyways, so I didn't manage to get it. At this point in the game, level 6 Noon versus level 6 Kindred, it kind of is a mind game because your ultimate is like counteracting Kindred's ultimate in a way. Like, the way that you're supposed to play this matchup ideally is that you're supposed to get Kindred to burn his ultimate first so that you can just channel ultimate while Kindred's in his ultimate. So that you can really like, after Kindred's ultimate pops, you get a kill. Jax looks like he's running it, but somehow that works. It's a bit concerning that Jax is 4-2, but like honestly, it's a Jax support. He can't get any gold from CSing. He can't really get any EXP. He's not really going to do anything this game except exist, you know. So I'm not too worried that he's fed. But I still need to deny the marks from Kindred. Right now in the game, I'm probably thinking about like what my win call is. It looks like Jax is doing another roam top lane, so I have to match it. But Kindred looks like he gets there, so I don't think I have any value to be gained here, unfortunately. So I de-aggroed the Grump, and that's why I have to do it again. It does waste some time, but if Maokai overstays top lane, I can maybe gank him, but it looks like he's just freezing the wave. And if he's freezing in a wave, he can probably run away in time before my ganks work. So I opt just to take the reset. 2200 gold is a nice break value because you get both Faded Ashes and the mask. I never know what the mask is called, but like the haunting guy, sorry. But like if you can get these 2 items, it's pretty good before the grub spawn. Ideally, you want to get Leandri's before the grub spawn, but like that's not possible in most games unless if you're like full clearing every single round or you get like a ton of kills. I did get 2 kills this game, so I might be able to get it before grubs, but I didn't think it was that important. Jax looks like he's still invading me. I think he gets out with the Blast Cone, unfortunately. I was trying to W tap him so that the Blast Cone would basically fling him the other direction, but unfortunately it didn't work. Blast Cone plays are all so like weird to think about. They almost rarely work, honestly. Sometimes you just have to hit the Blast Cone and pray. But anyways, grubs are up in 40 seconds. I'm pathing towards it. Ideally, also before grubs, you should be able to get one lane ahead so that one lane is like moving and the other lane is not. In this case, I'm best to decisive proxy, which normally should be a good idea because you get to basically deny Maokai from getting there first. I try to poke mid out a little bit, which doesn't really work, so I have to go to grubs. I'm Bessa looking for a dive mid lane, but I see Kindred over the wall. And luckily, Ambessa, because she proxied, is able to do this play. I don't think I can go for it here, but it doesn't look too bad. Jax is coming, but I think we trap him in a bush here because I guess it was warded, but Jax is really not too smart for going in here. My ultimate is kind of bad, but I think we're just going on to Maokai first and then getting the grubs afterwards. If we secure these grubs, is 6 grubs, which is really good for game state. 6 grubs is almost always winning, and you should like value 6 grubs as much as you value 3 dragons. Meanwhile, bot lane is kind of an island, but the thing about leaving mages in an island is actually good to leave mages in an island because mages kind of like actually beat ADC's one-on-one bot lane. So if like both supports are not near the ADC, it's good. It looks like Kindred is coming here, unfortunately, so I can't get the 6 grub. I do have to flash because if Jax lands the thing, or Jax lands a QE, then I'm dead, and I do not want to lose my Dark Steel stacks. It's the thing about playing Nunu, like you just want to minimize your deaths as much as possible. So you shouldn't greed your flash that much in situations where you don't have to greed it. But this is kind of unfortunate as it denies 6 grubs and Kindred gets the mark, which means that he's a bit closer to 4 marks. I'm not too sure how many marks he has, but it should be about 4, I think. But anyways, I do have Leon Riesing base, so I want to back. Unfortunately, my top laner is ball lane, so I have to clear a few waves. Although Maokai doesn't do too much damage to the tower, I think he can get like 2 plates if I don't do this because he has Demolish, and if he gets 2 plates, that's like 240 gold. And I'm catching the wave, so like if I'm not staying top while Ambessa does this then bottom side of the map, then we're losing 2 whole waves and 2 whole plates, which is like pretty valuable to our team. So I just try to deny it by just clearing the wave as fast as I can. And Best is recalling now, so I can take a recall as well after this. This recall timer is nice because I'm able to buy full Leandries and still have some components for my next item before Dragon spawns. It looks like we got a kill mid lane, so I don't have to think about contesting Dragon a lot. But I go for my double cloth armor over like a MR item here because I'm kind of afraid of their Kindred and their Varus just killing me. They do have a Victor, but Victor is a champion that really requires a long time to get scaled up. So I'm not too scared of dealing with Victor early game. But since Victor is dead, I think this is a dragon we could take if Zyra wasn't backing. But unfortunately, Zyra isn't backing, so I can't just go and start it because that would be a bit hard to play if we're down a member. But it looks like Zyra didn't finish her back anyways, so I don't think I made the right play here, but Zyra kind of confused me by doing a recall. Looks like they're going on Janna because she's on vision when she's basing, which is unfortunate. But at this time, I'm thinking about what the next play that enemy wants to do is, right? In this situation, I think it's pretty clear that enemy wants to dive ball lane, especially if Zyra stays, because it's just a free kill, and they get like a decent amount for it. So I'm trying to not let it happen, or at least like protect the tower a bit, because first tower is another feat in this game, and feats are worth like around 500 gold in my opinion, so it's pretty nice to be able to defend towers and stuff. But one thing about League of Legends that people don't really recognize is that a lot of League of Legends is thinking about what your opponent wants to do and trying to stop whatever they want to do, right? I was thinking about, for example, in that situation, I was thinking about why the opponent wanted to do in the next steps. And I thought, if I was the opponent playing Kindred, I would want to dive bot and kill this Zyra because I didn't see Nunu on the map yet. So that's why I covered. And it works the same way when you're ganking lanes as well, right? When you're ganking lanes, you kind of want to think about, oh, would the enemy walk up for this wave, or would the enemy just base or do something else? So yeah, see some action topside, so I want to get in on it. But Jax is a bit far, so I can't land my snowball. So I do have to go back and do my blue. Unfortunately, there is a lot of times on Nunu where you basically roll a snowball and it doesn't work. But it kind of happens because like you're rolling a snowball for the future. Like it's Nunu snowball has like a 10-second total channel time. So whenever you roll a snowball, you have to predict that 10 seconds in the future you'll be at a place where your snowball is good. And oftentimes like your predictions may be wrong, so like that's where you have to stop the snowball. I think I got distracted there, so that's why I missed it. But I want to save Talia, so I go and help her a bit. Jax is a bit scary, so I press R because I was afraid that my Talia would die to Jax doing a combo if I didn't press R, because I didn't think we had the damage to kill her. But it looks like Ambessa is running ball lane, so we're doing pretty well so far this game. Because Ambessa roams, and we have a TP top to cover. If you're a laner, it's like a good lesson to learn. It's not very much, like, I think it's only seeing higher elos, where like laners should TP to not only their lanes, but to cover other waves that are about to crash, right? Because our TP top, he was able to get like 2 waves and deny like basically a tower from being taken, which in my opinion is worth like around like 700 gold in total, which basically means that you shouldn't look to stay in your own lane all the time. But anyways, Rift Herald is up. I think when there's only one objective on a map and you're very far ahead, you should always try to contest the objective, and that's what I'm doing. It's kind of sketchy that Ambessa's bot lane because I'm pretty sure she doesn't have TP. But luckily, Varus shows bot lane, so it's going to be even 4v4 if they fight. And we are pretty far ahead, or at least I am pretty far ahead, so I'm not very concerned about like a fight breaking out and me losing. But anyways, we secured a Rift Herald, and this Rift Herald is really nice in the fact that I can break tier 1 mid for free. I don't know if that's what I choose to do here, but anytime you have a Rift Herald up, you can just break T1 mid and T1 mid is like below 50%. It's a pretty good opportunity to break it. Unfortunately, Talia went bot lane, so I got mind controlled by doing bot lane, which means we don't get the full turret, but I should be able to clean up some kills afterwards. But Jax makes a good flash, and even though this looks pretty winning, I'm pretty sure it's like really lost. I try to flash over, but unfortunately Kindred makes the first move, which is a bit surprising considering that I would think like Kindred would be defending mid tower, or at least like we would be getting mid tower if Kindred wasn't moving. But yeah, that play is set us far behind. We're only up 2 kills now, so the game is much closer, and Kindred might be looking to go for the mark. That's why I'm pinging right here, but I don't think anybody can defend it. But it's still good to pin just in case, like, so that people know, you know? Always good to share information with your team. So Kindred gets the top mark, unfortunately, but luckily Ambessa, I think, is playing bot lane against a Maokai. And Ambessa is pretty strong of a champion against tanks. She does max health. She does some like max health damage, so that's why she was able to solo kill this Maokai here. But anyways, with this solo kill bot lane, someone has to respond to Ambessa, right? So that's why I want to go for mid tower, because someone has to respond to Ambessa, which means mid tower is a 4v3. And it looks like they chose to give up mid tower because Kindred is topside. And now I'm looking at this map, I'm thinking of where I'm going to get the next dragon, right? I'm going to explore Kindred's jungle to see if like there's anything to take. But I guess I was a bit scared off and saw something happening bot lane. They are way overextended because they couldn't kill Ambessa in time, and this snowball doesn't land, but it's still pretty good because Ambessa has a lot of shields. And we do manage to kill Varus, right? Oh, does it go horribly? Oh my god. I forgot the play went horribly wrong. I was really mad at the Janna for like hitting the Jax here. Wow. I didn't even remember what happened. But unfortunately Varus gets to live with 1 HP because Janna didn't hit her. But it sucks. It happens. You know, only thing we can do is move on. This game is getting a bit more harder because we've been misplaying quite a bit. But overall, it's not the worst thing to worry about. Although Victor does scale, we do have champions that scale. Zara is pretty good later on in the game, in my opinion. And Ambessa does a lot, and Talia is good at roaming. So, yeah. A common misconception about Nunu is that he doesn't scale well, but I think, especially with this Aftershock build that I'm running right now, Nunu actually scales decently well into the late game. It's just that he's not as tanky as other laners, but he can always have more movement speed than other people, which is like a big priority. So I look at my bot lane, it looks like they're killing Victor. So after we kill Victor, I'm probably going to look for the dragon. Adicon spawned 11 seconds too, so I think that means I actually look for Adicon. I think this game is ruined as Adicon, but both Adicons are pretty good. But anyways, Maokai is overextended mid lane. I throw the R out just in case he has something up his sleeve. But once we get Maokai and Victor both killed, I think it's a good time to go for the Ruins Octagon. But they do a nice turn on us. Ambessa is not here in time. But I managed to get out. I do overplay my hand a bit because Kindred has Collector. So it does turn into 1v1 with Ambessa versus Kindred. Kindred should be able to win this if they're good, but as I said before, there's not many good Kindreds playing Kindred on the server. It's kind of a weird champion. But Kindred's just kiting. Unfortunately, he did the dash in, so Ambessa just unloads the full combo onto her, and I grab Frozen Heart. This Frozen Heart is actually pretty good this game because it's good against Kindred, who has a lot of attack speed, and it's good against Varus, who has a lot of attack speed. The way Frozen Heart actually works is that if someone has like 2 attack speed and Frozen Heart reduces 20% of attack speed, it actually goes down to 1.6, right? So they're losing more attack speed value the more attack speed they actually have. So that's why Frozen Heart is good to buy against like high attack speed targets like Kindred and Varus this game. Unfortunately, none of us are actually up, so we can't do the Adicon. But we can still try and get vision around it. Ambessa is split pushing bot lane to try and get something because she wins 1v1 against Maokai. So I do have to be a bit careful because that's basically the main carry of the group. I actually want to get both of the wards here, which looks like I got it. But yeah, since Ambessa is drawing so much pressure to bot lane, you can see that Maokai is like basically splitting. I called to start the Adicon because I think it's a good idea due to the pressure that Ambessa has. But it looks like they're contesting me a bit too hard. And I don't want to start this fight out 4v4 without my strongest member. And also Ambessa says just wait. So waiting for the TP to come. I pin Ambessa to basically help with this because it's a pretty important objective. It looks like she does have TP, so she starts the TP channel in. Talia does a good walk forward. I get caught by a Varus R unfortunately. But I can smite in time. The thing about this Adicon is that like it's not about who gets this outcome, but either way, it looks like they're basically wiped here. You never want to start Adicon if you're taking a 5v5. It's sort of the same reason why you don't want to start Baron a 5v5. It gives like 50 armor and MR reduced. So that's why this fight looks so one-sided, because basically all of them were down like around 2,000 gold in stats. So they were fighting basically like 10k gold down. But anyways, they do get the Adicon Roses, which is the most important part about Adicon, or Ruinous Adicon, but what they don't get is a buff, which is not as important, but the 25% bonus buff you get from Adicon is decent if you have a lot of dragons. It's also good on Elder, but like if you get Elder, you've already won the game already. But yeah. After this play, I'm just looking to take the enemy's Kindred's jungle because I don't really have anything else to do. I'm not good at hitting towers. Jax looks like he's going in for some reason, but he just dies. But this is the most like, this is what you should always be doing if you like ace them as a jungler or have the tempo lead, right? I could be farming my camps, but you should always try to like deny the enemy junglers camps because it puts them behind because they can't farm up when they're doing anything, so they're just stuck like running around like a headless chicken, not knowing what to do next. And B, if like they think the right play is, oh, they invaded me, so I should invade them, that means like you do get a lot of value because most of the time they do die doing that. But anyways, Kindred gets the Skull Crab because of this. I don't like to take this fight because as you should probably fight with strong people on your team, so I want to like focus most of my fights around Ambessa. But anyways, now I have 1.9k gold, so I'm probably going to base to try and see if I can fight the Baron. There's not many objectives up right now. The next one is Baron, so you should always try to play for the next objective that you see on the map because it's hard to siege without it. But yeah, looking to take some of my camps. It's always good to take buffs whenever they're up. Red buff, especially if it's like global for most team. I guess it's not global because they changed it to 25 minutes. But if this was like a global red buff, then it's the value on red buff is pretty good for all your teammates. But the value on blue buff is even better because it gives like a certain amount of ability haste, and every champion loves having ability haste. regardless of the champion it is. So it's like a good stat for everybody. And red buff offers some out of combat regen. But anyways, I don't know what we're doing here. I pin Baron because I want to play for it, because I think playing for this bot tower is a bit dumb. But my teammates really want to play for it, so I have to play alongside them. I can't be the only person walking towards Baron, because that would mean that like I would have to be soloing Baron, which I could probably do at this stage of the game, but it's also very risky because if my team dies 4v5, then it's kind of like my fault. You just want to generally stay grouped up with your team, even if they're making the wrong macro choices. And even though we're not getting much, I'm still getting like the Kindred's 2 camps on repeat. But it looks like Maokai starts to engage a fight here with his ultimate. I do get trapped by Varus's root, but luckily I do have Aftershock, so I reduce some damage, and Abessa is going crazy in their backline. I can't really help them too much, so I can only throw an E over the wall. But it looks like Jax makes a play, goes over. I see that Kindred is just wailing on me, and I do not have enough damage to kill her, so I have to back off. That's the thing about Nunu also. Like, a lot of the times you do have to back off even if it's a good play. But it looks like the other side of the fight is winning. So that means we do get a clean 3-for-1. But unfortunately, I think Zyra is getting solo killed by Maokai, which does happen. It's not if Zyra didn't die there, we might be able to take Baron, but she did die, so we just get the consolation prize of taking this tower and resetting. I do not have enough gold for Jack's show. I believe it's 1550 or something like that, so I have to farm a bit more for it. I don't think I get on this camp, but I do think if I take 1 minion, I do get it. Actually, I do get it from this camp because of the jungle trees. So I would have to wait. I'm going to wait in base until I can get Jack show up. It's 1550. I could also upgrade my Medjais here, but honestly, upgrading Medjais at this point of the game is kind of redundant if I already have 3 other people on my team doing AP damage. I don't need to be the one dealing even more AP damage. So that's why I choose not to. And yeah, finally, my team starts to play around the objective. And this is where the real fun begins, because if you get a vision ward, if you get a pink ward inside the pit, they're always going to have to be checking, either with like blue trinkets or their vision wards of themselves or control wards, and they can't really like keep checking, because that means that they will have to burn like all of their vision in order to see if you're not doing better. So they will have to walk in sometimes. So I try to sweep the pit, look for this ward, but Varus goes onto me for some reason here. I didn't think I was capable of dying, but I actually get really, really close. But luckily for me, I survive. And what this also means is that Victor has no R and Varus has no R. So if I can heal myself back up to full, this fight is pretty much won. And they basically have no choice to fight, because they could start a fight, but it's pretty hard to win because both Varus and Victor has no R. So I just start the Baron here. I have basically let them walk into you. Nunu is really good at doing this because Nunu has a 2.4k smite. Talia does the right move, trapping both Maokai and Kindred in the top side. And before Kindred can even get the pit, or get into the pit, we secure the Baron. And after the Baron, since we're stronger, we have the Baron buffs, we have a lot of things, we should go in for a fight. Talia lands a nasty 2-man knockup. And yeah, just flash forward, press R, and boom. It's a clean ace with all of them dead. And yeah, that about sums up for this game. I'll include the post-game stats right here. And yeah, it's pretty nice hitting 1000 LP again, but it's pretty far away from my goal to get 2k LP this season. Like, it might seem like it's halfway, but it's really not. There's no rank resets this season, so hopefully it's more doable for me. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you like, I'm streaming on Twitch almost every day, starting from 3 p.m. EST, so follow me on there. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.